Konnichiwa, minasama. Hello, this is Vitaly. In this video, I would like to go with you a little bit deeper into the automation details. One video we showed you together with Fukase-san, where through Line, we showed you an assistant who could answer Q&A questions or who could book an appointment. So as always, we have here a trigger with Line. It's called watch events. So here, as soon as the message is received or as soon as you chat the message, this trigger will be activated and then you can start your workflow. And in this workflow, we choose to take this HTTP module as first because we want to grab some user details, especially the username. And if you want to get the username from Line, then there is a specific HTTP request you need to send to this address here, and then you need to add the user ID. So if you are chatting with this assistant in your Line, then you have a specific Line user ID on your phone, and this we need to attach to this URL. And then when this URL is activated, or when you send to this URL a message, in this case a HTTP request, then you get some data back. And in order to send, you need to give here a BIRA, so it's a key, it's an individual key, so that you are authorized to talk with the Line platform from the make.com platform. And as soon as this request is sent, it will give you an output, and I show you the output here. So the output in this case is here data. So it is a JSON string which you get, or a JSON object, and this JSON object here in our workflow we then parse. So this means we get the individual JSON data information, and for this module you just need to give here this data element from the HTTP request. And when receiving it, we see that the output of this JSON module is that we get 4 different attributes. One is the user ID, the display name, and this is why we did this. We want to have the name so that in our response we can then say Dear Vitaly or Dear Fukase-san, whoever. So we want to grab the display name. Then you also get here the picture URL, and you get also the language setting, which we don't need in this case. So with this module, we grab the username. Then another interesting module is this data store. So the whole idea is if you chat with the Line assistant, then ideally the Line assistant remembers what you chatted to the assistant. In order to do this, the Line assistant needs to know with which user ID the assistant is currently chatting with. That's why we get the user Line ID here in the request, and then we want to store it. We want to store it in a record table, so that later we can then later say in the workflow, which you will see, we can then say, if you answer, then take this user ID and answer accordingly to this user ID only. And while doing this, by doing this, in that case, the ChatGPT module will automatically check this user ID with the history threads it already has, and then it is able to see the past chat records of this user ID. I will show you this in a second where we'll find this. This module is getting the record of the user ID as a key, and then this key is stored. Here you see Line user ID, so it is stored as a Line user ID, and also the OpenAI thread, so in this case ChatGPT thread, is then linked to this user ID. So you need to imagine like this: if we're using a ChatGPT assistant here in our workflow, then this ChatGPT assistant, every time it is talking to a user, it is storing a thread ID, so basically the chat history ID. So in this case, if we say that this thread ID is linked to this user, then the ChatGPT assistant will be able to access this thread in its own database and is able to see the past chat history. Sounds complicated, but again, the whole reason why we do this is that if you chat to the Line assistant, then the Line assistant needs to know what is the past chat history. Otherwise, the Line assistant would always think it's a brand new chat you are starting with the assistant. After that, we have here a Line push message. It's just a message just to say, hey, dear user, we are currently progressing and we are currently trying to understand your input. It's here you can just choose any message you like. It's just here to show some progress on the phone screen later. And then we have the first router. So this first router is important because we want to know, is this user with whom we are chatting, is this a new user, or is this an existing user? If it's an existing user, then we just go the following next route. But if it is a new user, then we need to record. So we need to store this user ID with the thread ID. So we need to link this. This means that route here above, the new user route, is taken once at the first time you are chatting with the assistant. And then after that, it will always go here down to the existing user route. Like in this example case here, we go down here to the existing user account. It's a simple condition which is set here, and the condition is if the OpenAI thread, if it is not empty, if it is existing, then it's an existing user. Then we go the route down here. If there is no OpenAI thread, then it's a new user, and then we go up. The route at the top is more or less a copy-paste from the below, but at the end we always have this data store module, and this data store module is just storing the user ID with the new OpenAI thread ID, so that it's linked, that we know this Line user is coming from this ChatGPT thread. Now let's go here to the bottom. So this is one of the first challenges we had, and we spent quite some time, and at the end it's such an easy solution, and I want to show you the solution. In the Line chat, you can either text a message, or you can voice record in the message, or you can even upload pictures. For the assistant, you need to say what kind of data is coming. Is it a text? Is it a picture? Or is it a voice? And everything, in our case, we want to transcribe to a text. So then we can give this text to the ChatGPT assistant, because ChatGPT at the moment is reading text. That's why we have here different streams, different conditions. And in my simple example here, I just put a message like, can you help me? Something like this. And this text message, it recognized, it's a text. How does it recognize it? So this condition, we look at here, events message from Line. It means, can I click here? Here, it means that we go to the initial Line message we received. And in this initial Line message, we have here under message a type. And this type is text, because here you can see I texted the following sentence, can you help me with automation? And Line automatically understood it's a text, and it put here the message type text. If I would have record a voice message like we did in our video with Fukasse-san, then Line is putting here as a type audio. And you can see it here in this condition. If the message type is audio, then this stream would be activated. In my example here, it was a text. That's why the upper stream is used. And then I set a variable. And the variable is basically just the message text. So it's the message text in the Line chat. Here is the text, and then this text is stored as a variable, and this variable is called payload text. Now, if it would be an audio, then this first condition would not meet, and it would go to the next branch, and it would check, is it an audio? If it would be an audio, then this branch would go, And then another learning is you need first to download the audio file from the Line chat message. And for this, there is this wonderful module which is called Download the Message Attachment. And you just need to say the message ID from the Line message, and then it will download automatically the audio file. After that, we give this audio file to Whisper, ChatGPT to Whisper. It's a feature from OpenAI like ChatGPT. And here you need to remember that when you get the file, here this file 17 file name is coming from this download a message attachment. You need to say at the end .m4a. So this is an audio file ending. Make.com does not automatically recognize this, so you need to set it here. And usually all the audio messages in Line are M4A files. So that's why I say here the file name of the download is ending with this file extension, and the data, the file data itself, you see it's here cryptic, 00 something. This you need to just click and link here. So you see download the message is the module, the data you put in the file data attribute, and the file name is the Line item itself with this ending. And then I say take the Whisper model. So it's here, the Whisper 1 model. And then with this, the Whisper feature of OpenAI will respond with a text. So I put here a text. You can also choose JSON, SRT, whatever you want. So I put here in this case text. And with this text, I again set it as a variable. So I want to store the text of the audio. And then it would be stored here. If it would be a picture, it would go here, the stream below, and then it would read out of the picture the text. It's OCR, and it would again set it as a variable. Why do we set it as a variable 3 times? So depending on the type of the message, one of these 3 will be set as a variable, always, because the Line message is always either text or audio or a picture. So that's why one of these 3 streams will always be active and set the variable. And then at the end, it will go this 4th stream. There is no condition. It will always go this 4th stream. And the first action of the 4th stream is to get the variable. So remember, we set it here. One of these 3 will always be set. 1 will always be set. And then here we just get it again to work with it. And you see the input is the payload text variable, and you see then the output is the actual text of the message. With this kind of workaround, you can go through different conditions and make sure that whichever type your Line message is, you're able to get the text out of it, either through transcribing or through OCR. Now, after that, when we have this text, we first go and use our OpenAI again. And for this OpenAI, in this branch, I want to understand, is the message from the user, is it a Q&A question, or is it a appointment booking request? Depending on these 2, we have different actions. So that's why here we say, you're a message parser, so please parse this message, this payload text variable, which we have defined before, and output whether it's an appointment or whether it's something different. So in this case, the assistant understood that the result here, it's other, it's not appointment, because the input was here. Can you help me with automation? It's not about appointment, so it understood it correctly. And after that, we have the router, which exactly says, if it's an appointment, go this route. If it's something else, then go this route. And the second route is pretty short. So it's again a short Line message, which just says, okay, we understood what you want. Wait a second. And after that, we have another assistant here from OpenAI. In this case, we use our demo Zenwerk Line Assistant. And to this Zenwerk Line Assistant, we just give the display name and we give the text, the payload text. And after that, very important, I forgot. And we give something else. We give here the OpenAI thread ID. So this is what I said in the beginning. In the beginning, remember, we checked what's the user ID and what's the OpenAI thread ID of this user who is messaging me now. And I give this OpenAI thread ID to my assistant here, to this OpenAI assistant. And with this, the OpenAI assistant in its own database will know, okay, I'm chatting here with this user, with this OpenAI thread, because in this OpenAI thread ID, OpenAI assistant will automatically map to the proper chat history. So this chat history is not in line, this chat history is internally in OpenAI. So here we give this thread ID in order to make sure that the assistant is able to access the history of the chat. And then the answer is here pretty simple and straightforward here. It's using my name and then it's giving a proper answer to me, and then the workload is here completed. If it would be an appointment, let's finish this in 2 minutes. If it would be an appointment, then we continue here by saying again, it's an appointment which you want. Okay, let's process your appointment. And one of the important things in the beginning is, from the message of the user, the OpenAI assistant needs to understand specific data. So specifically, is it about a new appointment? Is it about updating, rescheduling an appointment? When should the appointment be? At which time, on which day, etc. So that's why we have here a prompt to make sure that the assistant is able to exactly identify those data and then output the data. And we also say here, this is very important, you need to say to the assistant what is today. So which date is today? Because the assistants from OpenAI, if you tell them what is the date of today, they will say it's something in the past, 2025 April or something, because they access their own database when they were trained. So you need to explicitly here tell them what is today's date. And we do this with this simple formula. We just say, hey, today is now. So in make.com you can use this variable. You can just say, you can just type now, and then with format date function you can reformat now into a year, month, date readable format. And you can also say here it's in Tokyo. So because of the time zones, our chat assistant needs to know in which time zone we are so that it can properly schedule the correct time. And the output is defined here. So we say, please say, what kind of action is it? Is it a new appointment or is it to update an appointment? What are the dates? What are the new dates? And so on. Is there more clarification required? And also a good tip is to give it an example. So to say, okay, this is how an example output can look like. And we gave here 2 examples. And after that, we have this JSON parser. And this JSON parser would take that result and accordingly split all the output data. And you can then later access the new time, the old time of the appointment, or maybe the clarification message. So maybe when you ask the line assistant for a new appointment and line assistant did not understand the time which you said at which o'clock the appointment should be, then the clarification would be then, can you tell the time again? Maybe more slowly. So with this, the different output data are stored again into multiple variables, and then Either everything is clear, so this means the OpenAI assistant understood everything, then it is confirmed and we go the route above. If it's not clear, then you would receive a line message with the clarification question. So you see here, clarify. Here the OpenAI assistant would specifically ask what is not clear. And then after that, you would chat again, and this whole workflow will start from the beginning again, then with proper data. When it is all clear, then we have here either a new appointment or to update an appointment. And for the new appointment, Google Calendar is in this example accessed. And when the slot is available, it's directly booked. If a slot is not available, then a couple of alternative proposals are asked. Here you saw in the demonstration that it was giving, I think, three alternative appointment times. How does it work? So here, basically, you need to know what is the free busy time, okay? And the free busy time you can get with this Google Calendar module. You see here, get free busy information. So with this module, you get all the busy time. So the output here is the busy time. That's why we set the variable as busy array, and it's an array because it can be a couple of slots, right? So if you have already 5 appointments on a Tuesday, then you will get here an array. So it's a bundle, kind of 5 busy appointments. And this variable, we store here the value. And we have here another value, which are the free candidates. So here you can say, in general, during my day, when am I able to book appointments? And then you can just hard code it here. So you see in our example at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and so on. And then with these two inputs, so what is the busy time and what is your usually available time? Here again, a ChatGPT module will take both and then understand the busy time. Here is the busy time. Understand the usually possible time, and then it would output 3 possible slots. And also here I gave an example and said, okay, an example can look like this. So now the ChatGPT assistant here will understand how exactly to give an answer. And then it's pretty simple logic. So it just takes the 2 variables, busy variable, free variable, and then it will see and map them. And then it can automatically understand, at 3 o'clock, there is some time left. And with this, we can then later give this nice line message and say, okay, the appointment which you want to book is not feasible, but look, on the same date, these are the other slots which are possible for you. Please book one of those slots. This is how it works here. And for the appointment update, so if you want to update an existing appointment, then it's, you see, actually pretty short and easy. So first, it will find the appointment which you already set. So in this use case, it would be you have already an appointment at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Then you say, hey, my appointment 5 o'clock tomorrow, I want to reschedule at 6 o'clock. Then it would find the appointment here. And then when it has found it, it would simply update it and push it from 5 to 6 and send you a confirmation message. If it would not find the appointment, it will ask you and clarify, I could not find the appointment you mentioned. Can you please be more specific with the time? This could be maybe the clarification question. Wow, so this was now a long deep dive. It was important for me to show you some of the pitfalls and just to share how we solved them. Maybe this can be a help for you. Maybe you struggled with them as well, and this can help you to create your own small assistant in Line. To recap, the most important learnings, I would say, is one of them is this variable setting for the different message types. The other one would be here for the calendar scheduling of the busy and free times. just to set there the two different variables and to give those variables to ChatGPT and let ChatGPT do the work. So you see there is no complicated coding, nothing, it's just logical steps. And the third one would be the OpenAI thread IDs. So every time we have here an OpenAI module with our assistant, we give to this assistant the OpenAI thread ID so that the OpenAI assistant can access the history data of the user and of the chat with the user. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope I was not speaking too quickly. If you have more questions, please feel free to either comment us here below the video or visit our website and reach out to us through our website. If you have any more questions, please let me know so that we can create a proper video for you. And we really hope that with these insights, you can progress more and be quicker in your success. ありがとうございました。またね。